Laid Back Mickey here, and today we are gonna go over the 11 tips for beginner trikers. Tip number 1, make sure that your foot does not slip off the pedal like that. If your foot slips off the pedal, you could potentially roll over your ankle, sprain it, worst case, break it. Don't want that. You wanna make sure that you either get some clip-in shoes or some heel straps or some platform pedals that also have a heel support, something that supports your foot so it doesn't slip off. So very important, probably the number 1 tip of all the tips I tell people, but make sure you do it with some sort of heel support or clip-in shoe. Tip number 2 is to be visible. And a few ways that you can be visible is 1, have a big flag. Now, I know some manufacturers will give you like a little dinky flag, but you know what? Those aren't very visible. You want something that waves in the wind. So that way it's like waving, hey, don't run me over, I'm right here. And so get a nice big wavy flag in the back. On most manufacturers, they have like either a hole to put your flag in on your seat, or they make a separate bracket to put it on the back so you can like move it on your seat or onto the rear stays. And so a flag is so important. And you know what? There's like 100 different flags that you can get out there, but the brighter, the better. So make sure you get a nice bright, maybe yellow or orange flag. And make sure that you have some lights. So I like to use like a rear blinky light on the back, a LED one, something that is, you know what? It used to be 50 lumens that you can get, but now you can get up to like 450 lumen LED blinky lights on the back. And those brighter lights can be seen in the day or in the night. And so if you want to be seen in the daytime, hey, those can be seen up to a mile away. And tip number 3 is lean into the turns. And so when you're going slow on a flat and you turn, you don't have to lean a lot, right? But if you're going downhill into a turn, you want to lean into the turn kind of like a motorcycle, lean so that you shift the weight over and like you're leaning and going wherever you're turning. That way you shift your body weight. Gravity always wins. So wherever the weight is where you're going. On flats, just lean gently or just kind of turn that way. You don't have to lean a lot. Tip number 4 is make sure you brake equally. On a tadpole trike, both of your brakes are in the front. And so if you just did one brake, you're gonna steer that direction. That's called brake steer. You don't want that. That's an advanced move for going around a corner if you're like wanting to get a little crazy. No, be safe by braking equally and braking slow. Don't jam on the brakes. If you jam on the brakes, you could actually, end up lifting the rear wheel up and then going forward. So don't jam on the brakes. Just gently put pressure on the brakes, both of them at the same time. Tip number 5 is wear a helmet. Now, some people go, hey, I thought you only had to wear a helmet, if you're below 18 years old. Yeah, that's the legal rule, but also only wear a helmet if you like your head, because you know what? We're still a moving vehicle. I had a dog once run in front of me and I had to slam on brakes. What if I fell off, or overcompensated and fell over and hit my head? Well, I only got one head. I got 2 arms, 2 legs, but I only got one little noggin. So you want to make sure you wear a helmet. And you know what? If your helmet's really old, like over 10 years, get rid of the old helmet and get a new helmet because they don't last forever. They're usually made out of some high density foam and they're not meant to be used past 10 years, kind of like socks. Eventually they're gonna get holes in it and wear out. And tip number 5.5 is to subscribe to the Laid Back Cycles channel. Tip number 6 is there's the ABCs of trike maintenance. First of all, A is for air. Keep air in your tires. And so most of the time, you're gonna want, anywhere from 40 to 60 PSI, and also it will show on the side of your tire what the PSI is. 40 is gonna be a low pressure, very soft. 60 is gonna be right at the sweet spot. And some people go, well, my tire's rated up to 80. Yeah, that's gonna get a little more bouncy. I like 60 PSI on a thinner tire, and then on the wider tires, I like around 40 to 50. So B is for brakes. Make sure that your brakes are working. Make sure that they are able to stop you and that they're not squishy. And then C is for chain. Make sure your chain is lubed. I like to lube mine every couple 100 miles. I just drip a little bit in the center of the chain. I don't squeeze a whole lot where it's dripping on the ground. Just a little bit will do ya. And then if you're in a wet area, put a little bit on the sides. You know, maybe you could put it on a rag and then run the chain around, and then it'll just get the sides a little bit more lubed up in case moisture is getting on the chain. Number 7 is make sure you check the tire pressure before you go on a ride. So the first thing I do is I like to squeeze the tire, see how squishy it is. Now you'll know if it's really squishy or almost flat, you'll know to put some air in. Or maybe you'll just go, I'm curious. And so you know, it feels like there's pressure in there, but I don't know if there's enough. So go ahead and get your floor pump out and pump it up and put it to the correct PSI. Okay, we're on to tip number 8 is make sure to always be shifting. I call it ABS, always be shifting. If you're going up a hill, right before you get to the hill, start shifting, get into easier gear. Right? When you're going down the hill, rather than spinning really fast, start to shift into a harder gear. Now, some of the trike manufacturers out there offer auto shifting. So like you can get that on the Invielo auto shift or the Shimano Alpine auto shift. And so some will auto shift for you, but also the majority of the trikes have some sort of derailleur with the shifter where you can use your like thumb and index, like on this one here, or a lever shifter. I like to shift so that I'm pedaling at a nice smooth cadence. If I'm pedaling too fast, I'm in too low of a gear. If I'm pushing too hard, I'm in too high of a gear. So tip number 9 is to go ahead and make sure that you have mirrors so that you can see all around you. Now on a bicycle, it's easy to spin around and look, but you can't do that on a trike because you're in a seat. So like on a car, where a car has 2 mirrors, you want 2 mirrors. It just makes it easy to see who's coming up on you. Tip number 10 is make sure once a year you are going in for a tune-up. You want to make sure your trike is maintained. If you want to keep your trike for years and years and years, you got to maintain it. Just like anything, we maintain our house, we maintain our cars. You want to maintain your trike. For safety, it's important to get a tune-up once a year, and also just for trike maintenance and longevity, it's great to bring it in for a tune-up. And tip number 11 is to make sure that you store your trike in an easy to access location. Meaning, if you have your trike hung up on the wall, you may think to yourself, oh man, my back's hurting and I don't want to lift it off the wall. If it's on the ground in your garage, easy to get to, easy to just hop on, open up your garage, go out the door, close your garage, and just start riding. The easier it is, the more you're gonna ride. So you wanna make sure that you keep it on the ground. So if you like these 11 tips, you're gonna wanna watch this next video.